everybody, what is up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Liz. In this week's video, we have a really fun collaboration. I have collaborated with Jorge Gomez from Casa Refined. I will link his channel down below. He is the king of DIY. If you guys don't already know him, you guys have to follow his channel. He is just so brilliant at doing lots of Dollar Tree DIYs. And so I reached out to George on Instagram and I said, hey, would you want to do a DIY Dollar Tree challenge with me? And he accepted. And so what I decided was for us to pick 5 items from the Dollar Tree. So out of those 5 items, we are supposed to create 2 high-end looking home decor items. With those 2 items, they can be whatever comes to mind. It could be a piece of furniture, it could be a piece of art, it could be a home decor item. So whatever comes to mind, you just have to use that item. So I love challenges like this. I think they are super fun. You never know what is going to turn out when you do these. So I want to insert the clip here of me shopping for George at the Dollar Tree and picking out my 5 items that he has to pick up at his Dollar Tree. Okay guys, I'm getting ready to select 5 items for George, which he will pick out 2 of his top faves. I selected this hula skirt because I absolutely think it's hilarious and it's made of straw. So the next option would be these latex balloons. I chose white, but he can choose whatever color he likes, but he has to make something with that. Now I'm in like the cleaning section and I came across these copper scrubbers. And then over in the bath section, these mats. Finally, I came across the art section. I saved that for last, but I found some yarn. I think you can be very creative with some yarn. So now, George, you have yarn, a bath mat, copper scrubbers, balloons, and a hula skirt. So let's see what you can do. So within these 5 items, he had to select 2, and out of those 2, he has to create something brilliant out of it. So I'm interested to see in what George has done. He did tell me just the other day that he chose the hula skirt and the balloons for his project, but I do not know what they look like. So make sure that you go to his channel and you watch his video to see what he created. But let me show you what he chose for me. Let me insert this clip now.
Jorge here from Casa Refined. I'm here at Dollar Tree. Let's see what I can find for today's challenge. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna select 5 items, and then from those 5 items, you can just use 2 to 3 of them for your project. So the first section that I hit up was the gift wrap section. I found this pretty cool little like cylinder birthday box. So that'll be our first item. Honestly, I'm really loving Dollar Tree's crafting section these days. They really have a good selection of things to choose from. So I found this stretched canvas, not bad for $1. So we'll count this as item or option number 2. Since I'm in the floral section, I encountered this set of floral rings. So these are 3 hoops that come in different sizes, and they call these the brass wreath rings. I don't think that's brass, but hey, not bad for $1. So this will be option number 3. I made my way over to the toy section because that could be pretty fun, and I actually spotted these cones right here. So this comes in a pack of 2 of these smaller cones. Pretty interesting, so let's consider this option number 4. Well, let's make our way over to the cleaning section, which they have a pretty good selection, by the way. But I spotted this toilet plunger right here. That's right, a toilet plunger. This could be interesting, so let's make this option number 5. Okay, Liz, so these are the 5 options you have. Go ahead and choose 2 to 3 of them to use for your projects. Good luck, and I'm excited to see what you come up with.
So when he sent me the clip, I was floored. I was not expecting that. I thought he was gonna be a lot more kind. I mean, not like you can really be too kind at the Dollar Tree. It's kind of just like random items and you just have to use your imagination. So anything is game. Anything could be turned into something beautiful if you have the creativity. And so I was challenged. I knew that the picture frames were a little too easy and I had just already done something not that long ago on my channel using DIY picture frames. And so if you want to see that, make sure that you just look at my DIY playlist and that video will be on there. The cones were actually an option because I figured that that would be super kind of hard and challenging for me, and I love that. But I decided to take it a step further and chose the plunger, and I chose the 3 rings. I already off the bat knew what I wanted to do with the 3 rings because it was a project that I personally was going to do on my own channel. And so with the plunger, my process of thinking was, how can I make this super cool? I wanted to sort of use it and reconstruct around it. So it is the full plunger that I use in this project. Now, we also left room for us to use whatever other materials that we needed. I did go to Lowe's and purchase some of the items to create this project, and I had a lot of the stuff already at home. So within all, the first project, doing the toilet plunger, only cost under $15. And here's exactly what I used for the project. And okay, so here, I don't trust myself with these power tools. So my husband's gonna cut just a little scotch off of the tip there to make it nice and flat so that we can adhere the screw. So here we go. And that's it. It's nice and flat. Thanks, honey.
Yeebers.
So since he's got this, he's gonna go ahead and drill a hole. And this is where we're gonna screw in our little washer and screw. So to begin assembling the tabletop, I marked a little hole in the middle of the pan and took my drill bit and just drilled a hole straight through. Pretty simple. Somewhat. I'm screwing the screw head inside, and now all I had to do was just take some crazy glue and just place the charger right on top, and that was super easy. Ta-da! There it is. Now I'm mixing up the plaster of Paris just to give the bucket some weight so that it's not gonna teeter over. I was thinking of putting some rocks in, but I wanted it to look a little bit smoother. So here goes the plunger, and I am just setting it and working it in there, taking just a wooden spoon and just going around, making sure that it gets really stuck in there. We want it to set. Okay, you guys, so the plaster of Paris is already dried inside the little bucket. I stopped at Lowe's and I got this only because there's a huge gap, and I was thinking of filling it with rocks, but again, I want to make something really super cool and sculptural, and so I got this stuff that if you remember last year, I did a whole bench kind of covered in this stuff. It was like the hot trend of the moment. Okay, it says to shake it really well, and I did. I'm so scared, guys. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't, like it gets all crazy, which I know that it probably will, I will treat it like foam and get a bread knife and just cut it and sculpt it and whatever. I mean, no turning back. So here we go. Honestly, the only other alternative was to maybe fill it with acrylic, but that would be a very large amount of acrylic and super expensive. So this was $8.89 a can, and that's the way we're going. So at this point, I am a little nervous because, as you can see, as I'm spraying, it's starting to deflate. After shaking it a little bit more, it started to adhere to the bucket, and I just kept going around and around, completing the whole thing and just filling any little gaps that I happened to see. Well, let me bring you in a little closer and show you. I really like it. I'll call it my popcorn cocktail table. I may leave it this shape. It kind of looks like a little rocky. Maybe I'll do like a little faux stone painting on it, but I really like it. I think it's super cool and super original. Not bad for a DIY dollar store plunger. Okay, so basically it's all dry now, and I decided to go with white instead of black. I just think it's gonna look super minimal and really cool. I might just do some sponge painting to maybe bring out some depth to make it look like stone. We'll try, we'll see. All right, but let's get this puppy on and see what it's gonna look like. So the next morning, I decided to take my serrated knife and just carve it. I kind of wanted to work the shape and make it look more like stone. So I took some paint and I just grabbed the gray, white, black, and a little bit of brown and just went to town and started to just add some depth, highlights, and really make it look like stone. And I think I pulled it off. What do you think? It would fool anybody. I mean, this looks like stone. It's just foam. And I love the organic shape. I kind of, you know, when you do the bubbles, they're not cohesive. So, I mean, these holes I wish weren't there, but those were air pockets. So when I cut down, there was some negative space on there, but nonetheless, I really like it though. I think it's super cool. I might do this gold, or I might just leave it white. So got some thinking to do, but it's looking pretty snazzy. And here is the reveal. I left everything as it was. I was very happy with it, and I think it's super cool. I think it's like one of those vintage 80s table, and I styled it as such. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. It's actually my favorite out of the two projects. Now, I could not find in my personal store, they did not carry the 3 brass rings, but they did carry 3 of the black rings. And that was fine because I sort of, it was still the same concept. And I knew off the bat that I wanted to create a lighting sort of fixture with the rings. And I have been eyeballing these Japanese paper lantern type of lights. Every time I go to find one, they are sold out. And so I decided that one day I was going to do this as a DIY. And lo and behold, this was a perfect opportunity to take that. So I was really quite surprised that he included those 3 rings inside his video. I was like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. So here this project goes. So at the craft store, I took a little bit of time, but I found the exact product that I was looking for. It is like this paper product, and here I'm laying out the rings, the lighting kit, and my floral wire, and I am just making sort of like a cross pattern. I centered the lighting kit right to the center and used the wire to tighten it and secure it in place. So that's the top part. Now I'm measuring the fabric with the ring inside, cutting it, and then just taking some E6000 glue and gluing the seam together. So once the fabric dried, I now took the ring and I was gluing it around, but realized that the ring was a little bit too large, so I just cut it and I used some of the floral wire to just reinforce it, and now it is the right size. So I finished gluing the fabric all the way around, and now I'm taking the top part and had to do the same thing so that it was even. Guys, here is the reveal of the pendant lamp. Of course, I had to bring out my backdrop because I have really tall ceilings and I was not about to put a hook in my ceiling. So for display purposes, this is it. And I put my little chair here, although it's kind of hard to see, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn the light on and have it plugged in. Ta-da! Show you what that looks like. Look how cool. I definitely will try to really style this because I think it's super cool. All in, I think this was less than $15. Again, this was like $3 for the fabric and the little wires I already had at home. And I bought the lighting kit for like $10. The bulb I had. And yeah, so the rings were from the dollar store and they were a pack of 3 for $1. Actually, the ones George recommended were 3 for $1, but I didn't find those in my local store. So not bad. This is super snazzy. And that was it, guys. So I am so pleased with the table. I think it looks exactly like something you would buy at a vintage shop somewhere and, you know, pay lots of money for it. It looks very postmodern, something that was maybe designed in the 80s, you know, those wacky tables and furniture that they did at that time. It's something that I probably would sell on my own vintage website, to be honest with you. Would you know that that was a plunger under there? So all we had to do was use the items, right? So all together in on this table, I have about less than $25. The most expensive item I paid, honestly, was the foam art. I had the spray paint already at home, and the plate and the charger and the toilet plunger and the ice bucket were all from the Dollar Tree. The plaster of Paris I already had at home, but if I was gonna put a dollar amount to that, if you go and buy it, it's about $10 at your hardware store. So less than $25, you can create your own little table. Again, you can completely finesse this. You can completely buy a wood top. You can take your time and really look for, you know, other items that would elevate this table a little bit more and make it a little bit more classy. This was a Dollar Tree challenge, guys. This wasn't something that, you know, if it wasn't a Dollar Tree challenge, it would have been obviously different supplies used, but because this was a Dollar Tree challenge, I decided to use as many Dollar Tree items in the project, and then whatever else I needed to complete it, I went and purchased. But under $25 for the table and under $15 for the lighting pendant. I am so excited to see what George did. I know it is so fantastic. I'm excited to watch the video next. And guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. I do lots of DIYs and home renovations and things and home styling. So if that is your sort of content you enjoy watching, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this week, and I'll see you in my next video soon.